Okay, this topic is about how to choose the respondents for your research, how to recruit a sample, and then how it should relate to your objective or hypothesis of study. Okay, sample. The term sample refers to representative of a big population. Population is the larger group, which means it can be university students as a whole or society as a whole. But when we talk about sample, the term refers to a small group that represents that population. So that inference that you write, the hypothesis that you write, can be generalizable because you are recruiting the sample who represents the population. Okay, the question will be if you are collecting or if you are recruiting a correct sample, is the sample representative? Okay, if your population will be university students, you have to ensure that all the samples that you recruited, for example 300 or 400, is representing the population of the study. Okay. Right. In sampling procedure, participants, we call it participants, sampling. Participants must be appropriate to the methods, techniques, and instrumentation. Okay. And then the availability of participants throughout the study duration, and the number must be large enough to ensure reliability of research and permit a reasonable number of participants. Okay. In choosing your participants, you have to ensure that are they really useful for the methods, the techniques, and instrument, the questionnaire that you're going to distribute. Okay. Right. 3 basic questions to consider. Participants appropriate for research question? Okay, look back at research question. Are they appropriate? And then are they representative of the population? And how many research participants should be used? Many of you have buzzed me with the question, how many participants should I recruit? Now this chapter will lead you how to decide the number of population. It's not simply come up with a number. Okay, right. Sampling process involve identifying the target. Okay, who's your target? Are they accessible? And then the sample size, how many? Sample size meaning dia berapa orang. And then select specific sampling technique and implement the sampling plan. Okay, right. We have 2 classification sampling technique here. 2 big class will be the first one, probability sampling, meaning that probably every member of the population will have an equal chance to be selected, and it tended to yield good estimates of the population characteristics, and the sample result tend to be more representative of the population. Okay, the name probability dah merujuk kepada kebarangkalian yang tinggi lah. Sampling tu dia more on a large population. And the second classification will be non-probability sampling. These types of sampling, non-probability, dia ada kebarangkalian. It does not have random sampling at any step of sample selection, and it could increases the probability of sampling bias, meaning that you are choosing other character that as a researcher have decided, and it tend to lead to sampling bias, but not saying that it's wrong. It tended the higher risk of sampling bias. We'll take a look at the subtypes of probability sampling. And most of you are doing the survey research this semester. You have to take a look which one of the sampling technique related to yours in the probability sampling. Okay, we have 6 types of probability sampling, from simple random sampling up to multi-cluster. It's from the easiest to the hardest, ataupun the simple to the most sophisticated type of sampling technique. The first one is simple random sampling. This is most straightforward, because you are drawing names. Contoh, we have UTM student ada 5,000 kan, campus 1, campus 2. You main pilih je. Letak nama tu, contoh dia dianggarkan like you are putting all the name of 5,000 students in a ball, then you choosing. Saya nak 300. Contoh, you are selecting like 300. This is simple random sampling. The how it illustrate this simple random sampling. Okay, tengok kartunnya macam tu lah, dia main pilih je. Okay, that's simple random sampling. Second one is systematic. As we go to the next sampling technique, it will be more detailed and more organized types. Okay, this sampling technique involve they choose the participants by nth number. Contohnya orang yang kedua daripada kelas, orang yang kelima dari kelas. So because it is called systematic because it's easy to check and simple to draw sample. Contoh part 1 ada 10 orang, part 2 ada 30 orang, tapi we are choosing number genap je, orang yang number 2, number 4, 6 macam tu. Is systematic sampling. The reason why, because we as researcher maybe want to track down ataupun make it more systematic instead of choosing randomly without knowing them. We don't know the sample participants, however the way of doing it more systematic. Okay. Right, the third one is stratified random sampling. Stratified random sampling are drawn within different strata that are more or less or equal on some characteristics. Okay, we'll take a look directly on the example here. A researcher might be interested to investigate the enthusiasm for work among lecturers in UiTM. Okay, so it is stratified by faculty, by academic post or salary scale, meaning that every faculty you are randomly select, but you want to ensure that all faculties involved, and then from that faculties you narrow it down every semester involved, and then from the semester involved you narrow it down from maybe another characteristics lah. Stratified, it is still random sampling. It is still random sampling and it's in probability kebarangkalian because however it's more other characteristic. These types I would love to encourage students to use it because we want to ensure that all the population involved in their subcategory. Okay, right, let's take a look at this cartoon. Itu semua orang terlibat lah macam tu, but still ada yang tak akan dipilih, so it's still random, probability still ada. Right, the fourth type will be cluster sampling. Dipilih melalui cluster. Kalau tengok ni kan, go to the example. Suppose a college print a student directory. Rather than randomly sample 10%, so every 10% of the class will be recruited as sample. Macam tu, step 10%. Nampak tak lebih more detail and more organized compared to the other types of sampling technique yang before ni, non-probability. Okay, we go for the fifth one, proportionate. Proportionate is something that we want to recruit the sample equal to their proportion. Okay, alright, go for the example. We are interested in sport participation among UiTM students and suspect that sport students might differ between male and female. We're talking about male and female. If we are to compare gender, male and female, at the end of to meet our research objective, we have to ensure that the proportion number of male and female recruited is balanced or equal. If not, you are comparing the dependent variable between male and female is somewhat like bias. If the number of participants bias, contoh lah, you are planning to recruit 300 tapi male and female tak balance, contohnya 100 male 200 female. It's not good for the statistic, for the comparison, so make sure that equal in proportion. So you have to know how many male and female in the population. Okay, secara keseluruhannya, contoh 5,000 students, we have 2.5k of male, 2.5k of female, assumptionally, and then you are recruiting balance 150. Itu boleh. But if not equal, female are more greater than male, then you have to see proportion. Ikut jumlah adalah peratusan dia berapa ramai. Okay, because you want to compare male and female. This is dealing with proportionate sampling. Okay, and then the sixth one is multistage. This is most sophisticated, maksudnya paling glamour, paling more organized compared to the other sampling technique. We go to the example directly. Bancian penduduk dan perumahan 2020. Have you ever been approached by Banci volunteers? They are not reaching all the house or all the kampongs in Malaysia. They will choose, but they will pick up by street, by lorong, by postcode macam tu, to ensure that this rumah that they will approach represents penduduk perumahan di Malaysia ataupun in Sarawak contoh. So this one is very detailed and is need hard work lah.